most important things that's happened in geopolitics in a very long time. The United States moved into Venezuela and captured Nicolas Maduro, where he was removed from power, and almost overnight, the geopolitical chess game that's being played in the world right now has changed completely. It happened very fast and it threw a lot of people off guard, and if you've been following the news, you've probably heard the explanation.
This from the beginning has been about getting rid of Maduro, grabbing Venezuela's oil for American oil companies and Trump's billionaire buddies.
And that's because Venezuela holds roughly 300 billion barrels of oil reserves, which is the biggest in the world. At around $57 a barrel, that puts the total value at roughly $17 trillion. Now, even if you wholesale that whole amount at 50% off, we're still talking about oil that's worth close to $9 trillion. And let me just put that number into perspective, because that is more than the GDP of every country on Earth except US and China. Now, that is roughly 4 times the size of Japan's economy. So yes, there's definitely a lot of oil, and that's why some people think that's what this is about. Now, that story is not completely wrong. Venezuela really does have a huge amount of oil reserves, and oil still powers the world and the global economy. But the truth is, oil has very little to do with this story. If this was really about oil, this operation would have happened years ago when Venezuela's production of oil was way higher and its infrastructure was less damaged. So then the question is, well, if it's not about oil, then why are we told it's about oil? And that's because that is the story that's easiest to explain. But behind that story is a much more interesting reason. And that reason is how global power actually works in the modern day. So in today's video, I want to explain what that reason really is, why Venezuela was so important to the US, and why China, Russia, and Iran all matter here at the same time.
So Iran's in big trouble. It looks to me that the people are taking over certain cities that nobody thought were really possible just a few weeks ago. We're watching the situation very carefully. I've made the statement very strongly that if they start killing people like they have in the past, we will get involved. We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts. And that doesn't mean boots on the ground, but it means hitting them very, very hard where it hurts. So,
and once you understand this chessboard, hopefully you'll be able to understand the rest of the world and where it might be going next and how it might affect your investments. This story is not just about oil in Venezuela. It is so much more interesting. So with that said,